would try and make it as interesting as we can. I'll begin with the format of the panel discussion. We will begin with 3.5 minutes for each panelist in the beginning, and so that should take something like 15 minutes. After that, I will, based on what they have spoken, I will introduce a few questions which could be debated by the panel. So we will take 25 minutes for that. And then comes a very important part, questions from you. And we will have 30 minutes on that. So the quality of this discussion will be as good as the questions that come from you. So please come up with good questions, confront the panelists. Do not need to agree just because they say something and provoke a discussion. And finally, we should focus on actionables. We should see how things can become a little different from what they are now. And we will focus on that in the last 20 minutes. So that's roughly the format. So I think we can begin straight away with
Thanks. It's a great privilege and honor to be amongst all of us out here. Actually, a big issue, which I would say is this better? Yeah. So I want to thank all of you for having given us this opportunity to be here. It's a privilege to be here and talking and debating about something which is very hot, critical topic, which is sort of really facing the nation in terms of how we're going to manage the workforce for the current few years and most importantly the next decade and coming after that. So in my own personal view, having spent around close to 18 years in the industry and actually being a trained engineer and having been involved in the IT industry, and then actually seeing what I've been seeing in the last few years, and the fact that now I've decided to, instead of not actually complaining about what it is, I've also decided to leave my respective job and actually get in and do my bit in trying to get as many more engineers, as many more qualified, capable talent, which can be absorbed by the industry. So I see, I personally feel that we see a lot of challenge up there with the kind of increase in supply of number of students who are going through engineering vocation, and at the same time the lack of skills which the industry keeps facing on a day-to-day basis. So it's like a water everywhere but not a drop to drink is the current scenario as far as the workforce for the IT industry is concerned, or even for that matter even any other industry workforce. Because somewhere down the line I'm feeling that we're confusing engineering degree as a very, very general degree, what probably BA or BSc or BCom has faced a few years back. It's become such a general qualification, which means nothing. In true sense, if you think deeply about it, it means nothing. My concern and my fear is engineering going the same way. It means nothing. It's just a degree hanging loose out there. And I think we need to think either engineering should give you true engineering, or it should give you some kind of a vocational skill which an industry pays for, which he can buy. Okay, this is a skill this guy brings forward and I'm paying for the skill. So he's doing true research, development and real engineering work. So I think we are faced with a challenge where engineering as a trade could become just another graduation, which sometimes, 20 years back. So if you see, there's a legacy which the British left with us. Okay. So I think we need to really look at, my last thoughts on this is how do we really transform engineering? Either we need to make it truly engineering or a good high quality vocational training ground. So that's something which we need to think about. Thanks.
Hello everyone. I had an opportunity to speak with you earlier also. And just as Karthik felt very passionate about this and he left otherwise very comfortable work zone and went out on his own. And I'm sure it's not a very easy thing to do what Karthik has been doing. I have known Karthik personally before also, even from this day. 2 years back, even I felt very strongly that something seriously needs to be done about the way in which we are preparing our students. And I just incidentally, we couldn't create a for-profit entity, and therefore we had to create a not-for-profit entity to do whatever we are doing. But the interesting thing is the amount of support that we have been getting from industry. So what I spoke today, this morning, is not necessarily what I believe. It's also what another 12 or 13 CEOs and chairpersons of big organizations in this country believe. And they are willing to invest money in this organization to do whatever is being done. And I would give you one more simple example to explain what is it that we are really looking for, or what is it should be some additional focus in our preparation process. Imagine you want to be a sports person. Everybody knows that a sports person needs to have a good physique. So they go to the gym and you start gymming. But then we all know that the physique of a wrestler and the physique of a cyclist are different. Both of them need to have good physique. But God forbid you go and become a bodybuilder and only to discover that you want to do cycling. But then you're already in the gym. When you're studying, you're in the gym. And you're preparing. But if you do not know what are you preparing for, you're developing good physique, but for what purpose? How do we develop that specificity of preparation? For that, it's pretty important for each of us to understand what's happening out there. Just to give you one more example. Given that most of your IT aspirants, we were talking to a group of students in Bangalore once again, and we asked them, what do you want to do? What do you want to become after you complete your graduation? True to the Bangalore spirit, everybody said they want to become IT engineers. So we said, okay, good. We said, Wipro and Infosys comes and makes an offer to you, whom will you join? They said Infosys. We said, Infosys and Microsoft comes and makes an offer to you, whom will you join? They said Microsoft. We said, Microsoft and Ford comes and makes an offer to you, whom will you join? And then they said Ford. So we asked them, what do you think Ford does? They said, manufactures cars. Anything to do with IT? No. But then you wanted to be in an IT company, right? Oh yeah. But the point is, so we asked them, why did you choose Infosys and not Wipro? Better company, better brand. That's what they believe. I'm not sure that I believe that. They said, okay, why Microsoft? Even bigger brand. International company. Why Ford? So what is it that you're looking for? So suddenly, now here's where a set of students